Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're all about absorbing knowledge quickly and efficiently, right?
Absolutely.
So today we're going to see if educational videos are the key to doing just that.
Sounds interesting.
We'll be taking a deep dive into an excerpt called Texto Pegado to explore that idea.
All right.
One thing that really jumped out at me in the text was the phrase, very educational videos. What do you think makes a video very educational?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, you see a lot of videos online, but the text seems to be pointing to something specific.
Right. What sets those apart from just any random video?
Yeah, exactly. Like, is it just about fancy production, or is there something more?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Well, according to the text, very educational videos share some common traits.
Okay, like what?
They go beyond just entertainment. They have to have clear explanations and visuals that actually help you grasp the concepts.
Makes sense. So it's not just about looking pretty. The visuals need to serve a purpose.
Right. And ideally, they should have some interactive elements to keep you engaged. And of course, the information needs to be credible.
Oh, absolutely. You want to be sure you're learning from a trustworthy source, not just someone rambling on.
Exactly. It's about that active engagement with the material, not just passively watching.
The text highlights a bunch of benefits of these high-impact videos. One that stood out to me was accessibility. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, accessibility is huge.
How do you see videos making learning more accessible?
Well, for starters, videos break down geographical barriers. Anyone with an internet connection can access educational content from anywhere in the world.
That's true. It really democratizes learning.
Right. And then you have things like subtitles and transcripts for people who are deaf or hard of hearing.
Oh, that's a great point.
And adjustable playback speed can be really helpful for people who learn at different paces.
Oh, I hadn't thought about the playback speed. That's such a simple but effective way to personalize learning.
Absolutely. It makes the learning process much more inclusive.
The source also mentions catering to diverse learning styles. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Of course. We all learn differently, right?
For sure. Some people are visual learners, some learn best by listening, and others need a more hands-on approach.
Exactly. And educational videos have the potential to cater to all those preferences.
Because they combine visuals, audio, and sometimes even interactive elements.
Exactly. Instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, videos create a more customized experience.
And speaking of variety, the source mentions some popular educational video platforms like Khan Academy, Crash Course, and TED-Ed. What are your thoughts on those?
Those are all great examples of platforms that are doing really innovative work in the educational video space.
They each seem to have their own unique style.
Yeah, for sure. Khan Academy is a classic, known for its clear explanations and comprehensive coverage of subjects like math, science, and economics.
They really break down complex topics into manageable pieces.
They've really mastered that art.
I've heard great things about their math videos in particular. I even used them a few times myself. Do you think there's a risk, though, of these platforms becoming too dominant, like a monopoly on certain subjects?
That's a valid concern. It's definitely important to have a diversity of voices and perspectives in the educational landscape.
So while those big platforms are doing great work, it's important to support smaller creators and niche channels, too.
Absolutely. We need a balance to keep things fresh and ensure a wide range of viewpoints are represented.
And then you have platforms like TED-Ed, which take a more visual and storytelling approach. What do you think is the benefit of that style?
Well, TED-Ed is great at using animation and storytelling to bring ideas to life. They cover such a wide range of fascinating topics, and those visuals can be really powerful.
I can see how they'd make the learning process more engaging and memorable.
Right. And let's not forget about all those practical tutorial channels out there, covering everything from cooking to coding to DIY.
It's like having a virtual mentor right there, guiding you through the process. The source makes a point about the role of educational videos in modern learning. Not just as a supplement to formal education, but as a driver of lifelong learning. How do you see that distinction playing out?
I think it marks a significant shift. Traditionally, education has been confined to classrooms and specific time frames.
Yeah, you go to school, you graduate, and you're done.
Right. But with educational videos, learning becomes an ongoing process. you can engage with it throughout your life.
So it's about fostering that love of learning that goes beyond the traditional boundaries.
Exactly. It opens up so many incredible opportunities for personal and professional growth.
Whether you want to learn a new language, pick up a new hobby, or just satisfy your curiosity about the world, there's a video for everything.
Exactly. It's an incredible resource for anyone who wants to keep learning and growing.
The text also gets into the creation of effective educational videos and even mentions some challenges. One thing they emphasize is the importance of clear objectives. Why is that so crucial?
Having a clear objective is like having a compass. It guides the entire video creation process.
So before you even start filming, you need to know exactly what you want viewers to learn.
Yes. What specific knowledge or skills should they walk away with? Once you have that clarity, you can structure your content in a way that supports that learning goal. Every element of the video should contribute to that.
It's like creating a roadmap for the viewer's learning journey.
Exactly, and you don't want them getting lost along the way.
The source also talks about incorporating feedback. Why is that so valuable?
Well, feedback from viewers can be incredibly valuable. It helps ensure the content is actually resonating and meeting their needs.
It's like having a quality control system to make sure the video is hitting the mark.
Exactly. Feedback can highlight areas where explanations are unclear, the pacing is off, or the visuals aren't effective. By incorporating that feedback, creators can constantly improve their videos.
So it's a two-way street. It's not just about delivering information, it's also about listening to the audience and being responsive to their needs.
That's a great way to put it. It's a collaborative process.
But let's face it, with so much content out there are bound to be some challenges.
Absolutely.
The text specifically mentions information overload. With so many videos available, it can be overwhelming to even know where to start. It's like being in a giant library with endless shelves of books, but no Dewey Decimal System.
That's such a great analogy. It really can feel that overwhelming sometimes.
How do we even begin to navigate that? How do we find the right videos for our specific needs and goals?
That's a crucial question, and that's actually something we'll be diving into deeper in the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore some practical tips for finding and filtering educational videos effectively, ensuring that you're getting the most out of your learning journey.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear those tips.
Oh.
So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back after a quick break with more insights on navigating the world of educational videos.
Looking forward to it.
So before the break, we were talking about information overload right now.
Yeah, it can be really tough to sort through the sheer volume of educational videos out there, like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Seriously, so many options, it's easy to get overwhelmed. But I think you mentioned some strategies to make it easier, right?
Yeah, definitely. There are ways to narrow down your search and find the videos that really meet your needs.
Okay, I'm ready. How do we become more efficient searchers?
Well, first, you got to be clear about your goals. What are you actually trying to learn or achieve with these videos?
Right, so it all starts with having a clear purpose in mind.
Exactly. Once you know what you're looking for, you can use keywords and filters to refine your search results.
So instead of just typing in the first thing that pops into my head, I should think about the specific skills or topics I'm interested in.
Exactly. And think about the level of difficulty you're comfortable with. You don't want to jump into something too advanced, right?
Right, start with the basics and work your way up.
Exactly. And don't limit yourself to just one platform.
That's true. We talked about all those different platforms earlier.
Yeah, there are so many out there, each with their own strength. So experiment a little, see which ones fit your learning style and preferences best.
Like some are better for structured learning, while others are great for those quick bursts of information.
Right. It's about finding the right tool for the job.
You mentioned earlier that YouTube can be a bit of a rabbit hole. It's so easy to get lost in the endless scroll. Any tips for staying focused and avoiding distractions?
Oh yeah, YouTube can be dangerous. One strategy is to create playlists of videos.
Oh yeah, it's like making your own little curriculum.
Exactly. That way you have a curated set of videos to work through, and you're less likely to go off on tangents. It helps you stay focused.
It's like having a roadmap for your learning journey. What about the quality of the videos themselves, though? How do we make sure we're choosing ones that are accurate, reliable, and well-produced?
That's where critical thinking comes in. You can't just assume a video is trustworthy because it has a lot of views or likes.
That's true. Popularity doesn't always equal quality.
Right. Look for videos produced by reputable organizations, educational institutions, or subject matter experts.
So it's like checking an author's credentials before you read a book.
Exactly. You want to make sure they know what they're talking about. And pay attention to the production quality, too.
Right. A well-produced video with clear audio, Good lighting and professional editing definitely adds to its credibility.
It shows they've put care and effort into the content. If a video looks and sounds amateurish, it might be a sign that the information isn't as reliable.
And what about user reviews and comments? Can those be helpful in assessing the quality of a video?
Definitely. Reading what other viewers have to say can give you valuable insights.
Yeah, it's like having a virtual study group.
Exactly. You can see if others found the video helpful, if the explanations were clear, and if the information was accurate.
So we can get those different perspectives.
Right. And remember to look for evidence-based information, too. Does the video cite sources? Are the claims supported by research?
So we need to be discerning consumers of information, evaluate the sources, check the facts, and not just believe everything we see online.
Exactly. It's about being an informed and critical viewer.
And that brings us to another important point. How do we actually make the most of the learning process itself? Watching a video passively isn't enough, right?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
You need to actively engage with the material to really absorb it.
So how do we do that?
One of the best ways is to take notes while you watch. Jot down key concepts, definitions, anything that stands out.
Note-taking, it sounds so basic, but I know it helps me remember things. I'm much more likely to forget if I don't write it down.
It's a tried and true method for a reason. It forces you to think about the information and process it more deeply.
So we're actively engaging with the material rather than just letting it wash over us. What about when we hit those tricky bits, a concept that's particularly challenging or confusing? What do we do then?
Don't be afraid to pause and rewind. You're in control of the pace, so take your time.
Yeah, it's like having a personal tutor who can repeat things until it clicks.
Exactly. And if something is still unclear, do some extra research. Look it up online, read an article, or watch another video.
So it's about being proactive and taking ownership of our learning.
Exactly. It's your journey, so make it work for you.
What about after the video is over? How do we make sure the information sticks? Any tips for reinforcing what we've learned?
One technique is called active recall.
Okay, what's that?
After you watch a video, try to summarize the main points out loud. Pretend you're explaining it to someone else.
That's interesting. It's like giving yourself a little pop quiz.
Exactly. It helps you retrieve the information from memory and solidify your understanding. And if you struggle to explain something, it's a sign you need to review that part again.
So it's a great way to test ourselves and identify areas where we need more practice.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of real-life conversations, too.
Oh, yeah, talking about it with others.
Right. If you're learning something new, try discussing it with friends or colleagues. Explaining a concept to someone else can really help cement it in your own mind.
And you might even get some new insights from their perspective.
Absolutely. It takes the learning beyond the screen and integrates it into your life. And that brings us to a really fascinating aspect of educational videos: their potential impact on the future of learning.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about how they make learning more accessible, personalized, and engaging, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how they might shape the future of education as a whole.
Well, I think we're moving towards a model that's much more personalized, flexible, and learner-centered.
That sounds promising.
Right. And educational videos will play a huge role in this shift. They give students access to a massive library of knowledge and resources tailored to their individual needs.
It's like having the world's knowledge at your fingertips. But what about teachers? What role do they play in this new landscape? Are they going to be replaced by technology?
That's a big question, and I think the answer is no. Technology is not meant to replace teachers, but to empower them. Think about it.
Yeah.
Educational videos can free up teachers' time to focus on other things. Things like facilitating discussions, giving personalized guidance, and fostering those all-important critical thinking skills.
So it's not a question of technology versus tradition. It's about finding the best ways to combine them.
Exactly. And I believe educational videos will be a key part of creating a more engaging, effective, and equitable learning experience for everyone. So how about we wrap up here, and when we come back, we can explore some specific tips for finding and utilizing educational videos to help you reach your own learning goals. Sounds good.
Sounds great. Let's do it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground so far, talking about the benefits of educational videos, the challenges, and how to approach learning effectively.
We've really explored the landscape.
Now let's get practical. What are some go-to resources for finding those amazing educational videos?
Well, we've talked about YouTube, right? It's a great starting point.
It really is, but it can be overwhelming.
It's like this giant ocean of content. So remember those search tips we discussed? Using specific keywords, Filtering your results, creating those playlists to stay focused.
Oh yeah, those playlists are key. They're like our own little learning paths. But what about going beyond YouTube? What other platforms should we be checking out?
If you're looking for a more structured approach, there are platforms like Coursera, EDX, and Udemy.
They offer a lot of online courses, right? Some even partner with universities.
Exactly. They provide really high-quality content on a huge variety of subjects.
It's like taking a college course from your couch.
Pretty much. And many of them offer both free and paid options.
Oh, that's cool. So you can kind of try before you buy, see if a course is a good fit before committing.
Exactly. You can audit a lot of courses for free. You get access to the materials, but you don't get a certificate.
Okay, that makes sense. What about if I'm just looking for something shorter, like a quick explanation of a concept or a specific skill?
Well, in those cases, platforms like TED and Khan Academy are your best bet.
Oh yeah, TED. Their videos are so visually engaging.
Yeah, they're known for those beautiful animations, and they explore such a wide range of topics. It's amazing.
Really sparks your curiosity. And Khan Academy is still the king for math and science, right?
They're fantastic, and they've expanded into other subjects too. Humanities, economics, computer programming. They've got a lot to offer.
Okay, so we've got those big platforms covered, but what if I'm looking for something more niche? Like I want to learn a specific skill, maybe coding or photography. Where do I go for that?
For that, you'll want to check out some of the specialized platforms. There are tons of them out there.
Okay, any recommendations?
For coding, you've got platforms like Codecademy and Free Code Camp. They make learning to code fun and engaging.
Oh, that's cool. It's not just dry textbooks and lectures.
Nope, they use interactive lessons and projects. It's a whole different approach.
What about for photography or graphic design?
For creative fields, platforms like Skillshare and Creative Live are really popular.
I've heard of Skillshare.
Yeah, they have a huge range of courses, from the basics all the way up to advanced techniques, and they're taught by actual industry professionals.
So you're learning from the best.
That's the idea. It's about getting that real-world insight and expertise.
Wow. There really is a platform for everything these days. But I have to admit, even with all these resources, it still feels a bit overwhelming. Any final words of wisdom to help us navigate this world of educational videos and actually make progress in our learning journey?
Well, remember, it's about being an active learner. Take notes. Don't be afraid to pause and rewind, and just explore.
Explore different platforms, different styles, different teachers.
Right. Find what works for you. That's the beauty of it. And most importantly, approach learning with a sense of curiosity and excitement.
That's great advice. Definitely feeling inspired to dive in and discover new things. Thanks for sharing your insights with us.
It was my pleasure. I love talking about this stuff.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us on the deep dive. We hope you found this exploration of educational videos helpful, and we'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating topic. Until then, happy learning.